deep in the shadowed heart of an ancient forest, where mist clung to the roots of towering pines and rivers, whispered secrets to the stones, a bear was born. He came into the world during the final breath of winter. Snow still blanketed the earth, and the wind howled like a restless spirit outside the den. His mother, vast and warm, curled protectively around him, and his two siblings, in that dark, quiet hollow beneath the earth. His life began not with strength, but with softness. Blind, fragile, and small, he knew nothing of the world beyond the steady rhythm of his mother's breathing. Spring arrived like a slow awakening, the snow melted, the forest exhaled, and sunlight filtered through branches like golden threads. The cubs opened their eyes for the first time, blinking at a world that seemed impossibly large. The young bear, curious, clumsy, and full of wonder, stumbled out of the den, his tiny paws sinking into damp soil. Everything fascinated him. The rustling of leaves, the dance of insects, the distant rush of water. His mother taught him the ways of survival. She showed him how to dig for roots, how to turn over stones for insects, how to really listen to the forest. The forest speaks, her movements seem to say, and those who survive are those who understand it. Then came winter. The world turned silent again, the forest slept, and so did he. Curled once more in darkness beside his mother, he dreamed not of fear, but of movement, of rivers, of wind through trees. When he awoke, everything had changed. He was no longer small. Years passed like seasons carried on the wind. He grew into a massive bear, his body scarred from battles fought and survived. He learned the boundaries of territory, the scent of rivals, the taste of victory, and the sting of defeat. He faced wolves, challenged other bears, and endured long winters alone. His mother was gone now, lost to time, as all things in the forests eventually are. Loneliness became his constant companion, but life continued. One spring, he met another bear. There was no tenderness, at first only caution, distance, and instinct, but over time, something quieter grew between them. A shared presence, a fleeting bond. Soon, he watched his own cubs take their first steps into the world, and for the first time, he understood his mother. He became what she once was, protector, teacher, guide. He watched his cubs stumble, play, and grow. He defended them fiercely, even at great risk to himself, and just as his mother had done, he let them go when the time came, because the forest does not allow anything to stay. Years turned him older, slower. His strength began to fade, though his wisdom deepened. He no longer sought fights. He avoided conflict. Survival was no longer about dominance but endurance. The forest he once explored as a curious cub now felt both familiar and distant. Trees he had known his whole life had fallen. Rivers had shifted. The world had changed, as it always does. One final autumn, weaker than before, he wandered farther than usual. The air was crisp. Leaves fell like quiet rain. He found a place beside a river, a place where the water moved gently, where the forest seemed to pause. There, he lay down. There was no fear, only stillness. The forest, which had once been vast and overwhelming, now felt close like an old friend. As the sun dipped below the horizon and shadows stretched across the land, the great bear closed his eyes, and the forest took him back, not as a predator, not as a survivor, but as part of itself, because in the end, every creature of the wild returns to where it began, not as it was, but as something greater, woven into the endless story of the forest.